a little bit about the comeback from injury and how happy or how good it must feel to get such a run of matches under your belt without any complications, considering how the back row in Leinster get on. It's a competitive place, plus we do have a lot of injuries there.
Yeah, no, like it was obviously an unbelievably long year, and like a lot of work went into it with myself and the staff and the different physios and doctors and stuff. But like it's unbelievable to be back now. You know, it was a bit slow start. Like, you know, it's such a complicating injury. You know, and I feel like it, you know, was a bit shaky coming back, and you know, like, you know, probably subconsciously that kind of bit of anxiousness around it. But no, it's great. Feeling really good at the moment. It's probably feeling the best it has since the injury now, which is great. A little bit slow at the start of the season, but no, feeling really good at the moment, and I'm really enjoying training and playing at the moment.
And when you mentioned there subconsciously, do you think it changes your game at all, or after the first few run-outs, would you say you're back to the player you were before the injury?
Yeah, like, to be honest, it's more, you know, the first few run-outs you get confident in your knee, and then it's kind of the next 2 or 3, it's about, you know, getting back to the way you used to play. And you know, the game's so quick and everything's so fast. You know, you gotta, you know, you can do all the running you want, but it's really the match fitness that is important. And then, you know, the different scenarios, getting used to them, and you know, just how difficult it can be in the different games and stuff like that. But you know, I've played a good few games now. You know, either starting or on the bench, and yeah, I'm feeling really good at the moment, which is great.
And is it something to look forward to in terms of Ireland, that the back row, you know, dynamic seems to change quite quickly between Dan Levy and Will Connors, and when they were there, they were looked like they were undroppable. But I mean, does that give him so much hope that as long as you keep up your form, that your chance will come sooner rather than later?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I think the lads in camp are going really well, and I think the lads in all the provinces back rows are all going pretty well. So you know, I'm just focused on myself, obviously, and I'm kind of happy at how I'm going at the moment. But you know, we've got a good block of games now, and I'm really looking to kick on and you know, put my hand up first of all to the coaches in Leinster, and then you know, if anyone else is looking on to them as well, obviously.
And finally, just has Leo said anything to you about where he wants you to go in the next month? Is there specific targets for your game to build up so that you have your hand up as high as it can go, and that he can't drop you?
No, there's no specific targets or anything like that. You know, like as a number 8, you want to be making an impact, you know, around your ball carrying, around your tackles. You know, you want to be, you know, error free as well. That's a big thing. So you know, I'm just looking at making a big impact when it comes to getting the ball in my hands and you know, making a few shots along the way.
Leinster are kind of used to being up at the top and everyone having a go at them, and being third and fourth or second now as well. What's it like? Is that an extra motivation, or you know, something different that maybe can round you off as a squad? Say we're not always up at the front, that this is a good reminder that sometimes you have to be chasing and not being chased all the time.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You know, we unfortunately we've slipped up in a few games, and it's cost us in the table. But yeah, we're really just excited about getting the chance to get ourselves back up on top. You know, really going after these games, and it's not something we're worried about or overly thinking. We're just really thinking about winning this weekend, you know, and putting out a performance that we'll be proud of. And then if we keep doing that, we believe that we'll keep winning, and you know, we'll get back up there.
Just tell me about James Lowe. He's returning to training. What level does he come in at, and what do you think he'll be fit for the match at the weekend?
Yeah, it's very hard to read with James. He's always full of life. He's never short of a word or two to say. So his body language is great, and that's all I can comment on really. We just have to wait and see how he gets on this week.
Very good. And the Irish players that come back in, obviously some of them wouldn't have seen any game time. So are they like sent specifically back to play matches and they will come straight back in, or is there an integration for them as well?
I'm not sure with regards to. I'm not privy to those conversations really. You know, having been involved on the other side of the fence from a national point of view, you know, you send players back in order for them to get game time, in order to strengthen their case for getting selection for the national team. So, you know, I'm sure that'll be the case.
And just asking Max there as well about Leinster, usually up at the top of the URC in fairness, and this time there's one team ahead, but there has been 2 or 3. What's that like overall for the team? Is that better in general for the general health of a team to sometimes be the hunter as opposed to the hunted?
I would say that Leinster are well used to having the tag of being favourites and have had more than capable of living up to it, really. So I don't think it just shows maybe the strength in the URC, because to be fair, we haven't deserved to win those games that we've lost. We haven't been good enough. So sometimes it's good to have that shot across the bows, that if you're not quite on top of your game, if you're just a little bit, 5% off, then it's going to cost you. So that was the warning shot after the Blues game, definitely. I thought we responded pretty well against Edinburgh. And then a lot of other things to take into consideration. We had a week break, we had a short week preparation to come into it. A lot of the players are down on game time, because of the games that we'd lost out on. So there are a lot of things to consider. But having said that, I thought we showed a great deal of character against Edinburgh. We dug on in there, frustrated with certain aspects, but got the bonus point in the bag in the end. And I think it'll be good preparation for this weekend. It's going to be a mighty task on the weekend. An Ospreys team full of confidence, full of quality players as well. So we're going to have to step up again.
The last one from me. When you look at the Ospreys, is there a focus on how you set up the team to go about and beat them, or do you think that you've learned enough lessons from the couple of defeats and building on the Edinburgh victory that if you go out and play your game plan, that should be good enough?
No, I think we've got to respect what the Ospreys give as well, what they offer both in attack and defence. They've got a major catalyst in Rhys Webb at 9, both defensively and in attack. He's more than a handful, really, just to name one individual. So, they've got some players that'll be keen to make an impression as well. I'd be surprised if they don't get some players back from the Welsh camp. Similarly to give them some minutes as well. So it's going to be a big challenge. They're pretty high up in the table in the URC. From a set piece point of view, they're scrummaging particularly well. They've got some experienced players in their ranks as well. And we're going to have to be at our best, without doubt.